Yeah, bless up to everybody. And thanks for tuning back again to the Nick and Dan podcast. Happy Sunday to everybody. You understand? Mother's Day people, bless up to the people, bless up the fans, the man, them up on the stream. Yeah, bless up on the mother, bless up on the spouse and the girlfriend, whatever it is. They don't know Mother's Day them say so, we are shout out to all our females them across the world. You understand? Daniel, bless up yourself again, the Sunday. But there, if we talk about some football, but people look, we only have a limited time today. You understand? A limited amount of time today. But they are see me, we're gonna talk about football, Daniel, they are going the Sunday.
They don't know the people them, the mother, all of the money of kids and shout out to your baby mother, your wife. You don't know, your sister, anybody who have kids,
Yeah.
Mother's Day. You don't know. As Nick say, we have a short show today, but we still make it happen today. Don't know another episode. Don't know, but they are.
Yeah, people, some crazy stuff happened, over the weekend as usual. You don't know whatever happened in European football, they had to discuss it as well. A little bit still to talk about what is going on, across the world football. And actually, this video that I'm going to do, with Daniel, with Demarai Gray. I've been waiting, for some information on this for sorry, for the last, 3 to 5 days, information finally reach the digits. You understand? So we have a chit chat, the Mary Gray. And it's not bad. Then it's nothing, where negativity, but it's a lot of positivity to go to shine around the Mary Gray. But anything that you want to touch on, Daniel, before we go into the video?
No, no.
Yeah. So but look, the best place to start, Daniel, is the race in Italy, the Scudetto race. We saw what happened. You understand? We saw Inter Milan, beat Barcelona 7-6 game, two-legged tie, 30. Look, what I must say, Daniel, that game that they played as well versus Torino, it was you could see the legs as much as they make like what 8 9 changes, to the starting lineup. Inzaghi, I think Bishek played Bastoni. I think those players are the only two players that start. Midweek versus Barcelona played against start against Torino. They made some changes into that squad, but the big one though is what happened a few hours ago. Yeah, at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium in Naples. Napoli drew at home versus no other than Patrick Vieira, a former Inter Milan player. Big 2 point drop at home, for Antonio Conte. 1 point gap between Inter and Napoli. Your takes on that?
Didn't able to watch that game, but very surprising after Napoli been playing over the last couple of games, especially at home. They're able to get the job regardless of the 1-0, 2-1. They're still able to get the results over the line. I think they dropped the ball. They give Inter a life back in the title race with too many 2 games to go. So it's gonna go down to the wire.
Yeah.
I think Napoli they have this in the bag, but given what happened today and see what Inter did midweek against Barcelona, you just never know. This Inter team, they have warriors, they have the know-how to get it done, but still gonna be a very very difficult points to drop today for Napoli.
Yeah. Yeah, tough points to drop at home. Look, scored first. They equalize. You understand? But the Mexican Jan Vasquez got that equalizing goal. He actually, Sam Billing actually leap. First for that ball, and Billing is like what 6'6", and the Mexican defender Jan Vasquez is like probably 6 foot. You understand? No taller than 6'1". Managed to get that ball after that leap over Sam Billing, but they came to Naples, to prove a point. As I said, the coach is a farmer of Inter. Milan, you understand? So he's fighting, he's helping Inzaghi to get that Scudetto, but I think it will be tough when Napoli only, I think, what, away to Parma and close off with Cagliari. But that one, is a really good one. But the El Clasico, Daniel, we have to touch on this as well. The El Clasico, where so many goals. It's weird. And these El Clasico that played, throughout this campaign, it's just weird. Like so many goals, being scored, in the last three El Clasicos, but 2-0 up, yeah, 2-0 up at the Olympic Stadium in Spain. Real Madrid 2-0 up in what the first 30 minutes. I have always said that even if Real Madrid leading that game 3-4-0 up in that first half, I see Barcelona, once they get a goal, if Real Madrid cannot contain them, Barca will go on to get something from that game. And so said they did, what they have scored in they scored in a 50 plus game. The only team managed to keep Barcelona from a shutout is Leganes. They played at home, and that game they played in the past era of Real Sociedad. No other team have shut out this Barcelona team, and actually, they have scored 33 or more. They have scored 3 or more goals in 30 plus games this season. So this is a goal machine team. But your assessment on this Clasico game?
Crazy, Real Madrid start that game so good, with Kid and Mbappe. They look up for it, and for Real Madrid get that 2 goal, Barca just turn the table, as I said, no matter the industry can't count out this Barcelona team regardless.
Yeah.
You see what happened midweek. They could have, if it wasn't for a couple more seconds in that match, they would have won that game. And Real Madrid just all over the place. They just could not able to, in the first 10 minutes, as Ode was locking down Barcelona, locking on Lama, locking on Rafinha and Torres up top. And they just could not able to keep those players at bay. You get what I'm saying? Mbappe have a hat-trick today and still get a beaten. You get what I'm saying? That's just the season Real Madrid having towards Barcelona. 4 defeats in our El Clasico, first time that ever happened. You get what I'm saying? But I think Barcelona, they have been really good. I'm one of the biggest Barcelona hater, but my God, you have to give it to them this season. They are on a different level, but if they want to get to that winning Champions League, they're gonna have to fix their defense, because you can't just try for outscore teams and win Champions League. I don't think you can be able to do that. You have to.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for them to play that eye line in big games in the European ties. But before I go on to to get that comment from the comment section, but I just want to say this Real Madrid team just look unorganized. I never seen a Real Madrid team came out in a Clasico just try to hit the football long. That's not Real Madrid. That's even when you go back to the days of Ronaldo, when they used to have the wing backs, they try to at least play the football wide and try to get the crosses in, but they're playing that Tuna Pulis, Stoke City long ball FC type, from the center half all the way, to Mbappe, and it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working, and you could see that. Look, this team is out of shape. This team is unorganized. Vinicius Junior is running all over the football pitch. And look, drastic changes going to make coming to the next season. In the Bernabeu, I see a lot of those players will get shifted out. After that all white jersey, but big up to Jordan, but Tycoon said these ref work for that ball that was on Tushimini. Was that an handball? Did you saw that?
No, that cannot be an handball. Look how close that shot was towards the player, and his hand was in a natural position. In the Premier League, that's not a penalty. You get what I'm saying? Maybe in Europe they're kind of a little bit stricter. You get me? But you have to be real. That shot was too close. And to me, it really couldn't do
it was
anything.
50-50 though. It was 50-50.
If his hand was up a little bit, like out a little bit, then yes. But because his hand was in a natural, his hand was down to his side,
Yeah.
That was gonna be very harsh. And the referee did say no, and then he went over and stick to his decision. That's a correct decision.
Yeah. But big up to the Barca fan. Once the Barca, Real Madrid just cannot handle that eye line. I think it's just more than the eye line. I just think Real Madrid team overall, the discipline, the shape, they just unorganized in their whole system this season. And every time they go into a big game, that's the end result. They just struggle to contain teams. They just don't know how to handle the big teams. But again, the eye line is a problem. I remember even the first Clasico, Mbappe offside around I think 6-7 times in one game. But quick smash and grab, question to you. Bayer Leverkusen, they saw, what they did, to Xavi Alonso, a little ceremony before that game start. They lost that game at home 4-2 versus Dortmund. Dortmund, will play Ulster Kyle, and they 1 point away from the top four, which is Freiburg is in fourth, Frankfurt is in third. The next game and the final game in the Bundesliga will be Frankfurt versus Freiburg. Dortmund will play at home. You see Dortmund favorably getting into that spot when the third and fourth place team will play in the last match day in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. For let me see. Yeah, you have if Frankfurt have to go there and play, because if Dortmund even win by certain goal difference, Frankfurt could be the team that jack out. So if
Yeah,
they think that they just gonna go at Freiburg and say, all right, Freiburg, we don't want to play football, we want to take the points. That could be very, very risky, because Dortmund is on 17 plus goal difference, and Frankfurt is on 20 goal difference. So
yeah,
if Dortmund win by a certain amount of goal, they could be in the top four. So, but that being said, Frankfurt have to go to Freiburg and play. You get what I'm saying? Because they cannot go there and just don't play. So I expect Dortmund somewhere. Dortmund, you have to give them the credit. They was all the way in the bottom of the table, and
yeah.
they come all the way. They
Yeah, you have to give
really
it.
left out.
Leverkusen dropped out of the Champions League, race. But yeah, I favorable.
Liverpool.
Continue.
No,
No,
Liverpool.
Leipzig, Leipzig.
Oh, Leipzig, yeah,
Yeah,
Leipzig, yeah.
Leipzig. I don't know what happened, with Leipzig, but we saw what happened at the Allianz Arena. Thomas Muller, 700 plus games, for Bayern Munich, 2 Champions League, 12 Bundesliga title. His days come to an end finally at Bayern Munich. I know he's a German supporter. You know, what's next for Thomas?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see where, because he's those German baller. So it's like it's gonna be weird to see Thomas without Bayern. I would love to see him come to America. I don't think the pace of England will suit him at this moment. But
At this moment, yeah.
yeah, I think maybe America, that'd be
MLS.
good. MLS, yeah, I think somewhere, but big baller for the game. One of those. When it comes to World Cup time, Muller
Yes.
at least after scoring like that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Muller.
You come
World
to
Cup, World Cup.
you can't forget 2014 World Cup, and he's one of those players that well respected in the game.
Yeah,
Not too
yeah.
much skills, not too much. He just know. When they talk about, if you're Jamaican and you talk about, when they say slippery, damn man,
Off the
Thomas
ball
was
running,
slippery.
smash and grab. But want to move on from German football, but we saw what happened in the EPL, today and also yesterday. We saw that game. You said that Southampton was a bogey team for Arsenal. That virus got caught up with Pep Guardiola, at Southampton home field. But, Leicester City drew at the City ground 2-2. Chelsea lost at St. James's Park, your team. Tycoon is a Chelsea fan as well, you understand? But Villa beat Bournemouth, Vitality Stadium. The top five race is heating up. But want to talk about what that game, at Anfield. Trent Alexander-Arnold got booed before the game.
Mm-hmm.
Arne Slot came out and said that Bradley will be the starter. He said that he cannot stop the fans from express their feelings. Fans will always express their feeling, but I just think his words in the press conference then is putting a little bit of a gasoline to the fire towards the fans. Them have come out to try to embarrass Alexander Trent Arnold, and I kept hearing the Liverpool fans saying that he's an academy kid, he's a local kid, then he's a local boy,
Yeah.
dieted Skulls Liverpool fan growing up. But it's more than that. Football have no loyalty, because I can even express my feelings here. Like, look, maybe 10 years down the line, what if Trent Alexander-Arnold want a 3-year deal at 35? Would they even give him it if he's in a decline? So there's no loyalty, within football. And talk about, these players, walking away free. But for Liverpool is a classy team. They have done so much classy things this season. You understand? They're doing excellent job this season. But what those small minority fans did in that stadium to boo, Trent Alexander-Arnold. From now on, I am a Trent fan. I like the player, what he bring to the show, what he bring to the game. I think he evaluate that game, the right back position. He modernized it. We have never seen a right back play in that such a fashion of way. And for his own fans to come out and boo him, I am against that. But I just think the manager is putting a little bit of gasoline already, what is there already to the fire. But 2-2 at Anfield, 2-0 up Liverpool. Arsenal came back in the second half, got that point. How Arsenal got to this position, I'm still trying to figure out, like, how they're still in a race to, try to finish in the second position. Not just second, but they're looking over their shoulder, like, they can get stopped if results go, against them. Coming up, they can get dropped out of the top 4. But I just think, me personally, they will qualify, for the Champions League. But I'm just saying that how they managed to get here, but your thoughts on the trend and Arsenal and how they get here.
No, on the trend thing, I think people are just mostly mad because he's leaving on a free. I think if he was leaving for money, I think people would be okay, especially Liverpool fans. I think that's where most people are mad about. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think he's a betrayer, because one, he came from the academy. He able to win everything for Liverpool, 2 Premier League, a Champions League.
You can say that again. Which other Liverpool player in history ever
even them beloved Steven Gerrard never won a Premier League for them. You get what I'm saying?
You have to go back to the John Barnes days. You have to go back to that days.
Yeah.
1990. Everybody else around in this era didn't won. The past legend them.
But that's the thing with the modern day fans. They're so over react. They everybody is a traitor, this, that, tarata. You know what I say? So it's crazy to see them even booing him. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy. He's come from the academy. You guys never have to pay for anything of him. He have been one of the best fullback in the Premier League since he came up. And he won you 2 Premier League and a Champions League and FA Cup and Quarterback Cup. You get what I'm saying? I know that he is leaving on a free.
Yeah,
but
that's
at the end of the day, you guys did not pay anything for him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, people saying that Trent didn't, manage to go out on a fee. But Daniel, what he have done for that football club, the Champions League, you understand, the finals, the Premier League, the cups, he helped. Look, in the last probably 4 to 5 years, everything what Trent Alexander-Arnold done, since that COVID season until even that first season before we go into the COVID era until now, every time when he missing, that Liverpool team is a handicap team. The attacking team, the players are playing the attacking third. It's like they're handicapped. The balance is not there. He brings so much to that football club. He brings so much to their gameplay.
Yeah.
they get wins when he's not there, yes, but when he's there, it's a different Liverpool team. You remember when Trent and Robertson were hitting, making assist to assist with each other on that football pitch.
Yeah.
How many fullbacks have done that? We have only seen that, maybe when the Danny Alves, and Adriano was playing for the Barcelona team when they were hitting diagonal pass with each other.
The only thing I can criticize Trent, since he made up his mind that he was gonna leave Liverpool,
Yeah.
you see that look a bit, he kind of check out a little bit. You get what I'm saying? And he have never been the most good defensively. That's one of his most critics. You could have criticized him, but when it comes to attacking, he was like a weapon to Liverpool.
But if you look at it, when Owen left and got Real Madrid, when Steve McManaman left and got Real Madrid, how much stuff they won during that period for Liverpool before they left? They're not that as decorated as Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
He have give this football club everything, but I don't want to make this into a Trent Alexander-Arnold show, but I just want to touch in more, the Leicester game that happened at the City Ground, where we saw that Greek owner walk on the pitch and approach Nuno Esposito. That was one of the most embarrassing scenes I've ever seen. If you have a problem with the manager, this is a manager who this football club finished around 6 or 8 points above the relegation drop. Yeah, I think he finished like 17 in the league last season. And now this club is still fighting for Champions League football. Yes, they have made so many different signings, over 10 plus signings, in the last couple of seasons. You have splashed the cash. But what happened though with the medical staff and the coach and Taiwo Ayew, the Nigerian? I think it more down to the medical staff. I think it was more down to the medical staff because the medical staff said, hey, he was okay. It's good. And the player said he was good. Yes, might be the experience probably that kick in with the manager, wait until the player come around or try to, talk to him and see where his headspace and, what he's feeling. But for the owner to step on that football pitch after, they drew that game 2-2. But Leicester City, though, drew that game in the last 12 games. This Forest team have only won 4 games. 4 games in the last 12.
Yeah.
They declining and they're declining rapidly. What's your thought?
That thing that the owner did, very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. Undermine the manager. After what you said, bringing them from all the way from 17, they were third, and they just run out of steam. Which every person who watch Premier League know that they was gonna fall off at some point because they just don't have the quality enough to keep up. You get what I'm saying? The goal dried up. You get me?
Yeah.
Very disrespectful. Let's be real. Nottingham Forest are a relegation team. So they're pushing over them shoulders. You get what I'm saying? So him coming out, questioning the coach, undermining the coach, disrespect. Wait until the coach reaches underneath the tunnel.
Yeah.
Wait until him walk underneath the tunnel. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to embarrass him? Regardless of how you feel. And I know that he sent out a statement, but he did the damage.
Yeah.
You put a reputation out there for yourself. No, know that you did that. Which coach gonna wanna come work for you? Because they're gonna say, can you imagine? You think you would have done that to Jose?
No, you would have never done that to Pep. You would never done that to someone who have personality that would show their character.
I Jose that running way. Hey boy, go for me so. You think Pep first of all, Pep and them man and Jose were full of ego. Them man they resign a man.
Yeah, man.
Them man they resign a man. Very disrespectful. But Nottingham Forest, they run out of steam. They still have a chance. I think that match against Chelsea at the City Ground,
The last game of this season.
I think that's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's being going to be a cracker.
a cracker.
That's going to be a cracker. You lost at St. James Park 2-0. You got a red card then in that game as well. Quick 60-second. Where does it go wrong in that game with Chelsea?
I think Newcastle have Chelsea on the ropes.
Yeah.
They start that game really good. But I think Chelsea was holding their own. I think hold on for a couple minutes after Newcastle scored a goal. But my God, Nicholas Jackson let down his players, the fans, his coach, everybody. He let down everybody. I think that if Chelsea did have 9 players, 10 level players on that
And
pitch, they would have at least get a jar out of that game, because you see what Chelsea did in the second half. Even done a man, they're still able to hold their cool. And it's just that they run out of steam at the end, and a very unfortunate deflection goal that scored from Grimir. But Nicholas Jackson, you need to look a hard look at yourself. You might play your last game for Chelsea. You get what I'm saying? Because
that's so harsh. Come on.
No, he might. Because right now we need a new striker. You have not lived up, you have not produced. And the crazy thing about it is he was doing a couple good things coming up to this game. He's scoring in the Conference League. He's scoring the Premier League in the last win against Everton. And then he just come and do this, man. You got to think, footballers, they are VAR. They're going to review every decision, every goal, every tackle.
Yeah.
Use your brain. If you do anything on the field, they will see it. You get what I'm saying? But I think I still, after what Leicester City went there and did against, Southampton did against City, anything is possible.
You're confident that Southampton can get something from the Gunners?
Anything is possible at this point. And this is when you're playing against the relegation team, it's dangerous because they don't have nothing to play for. You get what I'm saying? They don't have no pressure. That I think when they know they have not relegated, they still kind of play with that low tense.
And I must give it to them. I must give it to the fans at Portman Road for Ipswich. They've been living it in every home game after they found out that they got relegated. At Leicester, look at Leicester. Look at Leicester fans. Them turn up today at the City Ground. They're in numbers.
Yeah, you're not gonna be in the Premier League next season, so you might as well go there.
The Southampton fans, they were so happy.
Yeah,
they were behind their team, but
and Southampton was so happy that they did not break that Derby County, the worst.
Oh yeah. You saw the tweet, right?
Yeah,
you saw the tweet after where Southampton, tagged Derby County in that and said, the worst team in the Premier League with 11 points. But Tottenham Hotspur 20 home last, not 20 home last, but 20 games last this season. You understand? 20 games last this season. Manchester United 17 games last this season. But there's these two teams will be fighting it out in Spain, in Bilbao. Bro, I look at some flights to travel to Spain, and I'm telling you, the journey to make it to Bilbao, I've heard people say it about trying to make it to the Basque area in Spain, and it's one of the most difficult things that they ever tried in their life. The journey to just go around just to get in Bilbao. Some people talk about they going to Brussels. Some people talk about they going to Frankfurt and in Paris. To try to get a flight into Spain, but flights, Daniel, it's expensive as hell. I'm telling you, it's expensive, bro. But Tottenham Hotspur, and Manchester United, 17 and 16 in the table. My God, they cannot get any worse than this. You understand?
It
will be it will be chaos for any team that go on to lose that Europa League final. That look back at that season,
it's gonna be a heartbreaker.
It's gonna be a heartbreaker, and I'm telling you, it will. I think it will more affect the United fans. Why? United is a bigger club. It's a bigger club,
And
rich, rich at
they
history.
need that
They
financial.
need that financially. Tottenham need, not saying Tottenham don't need it as well, but if Tottenham go on to lose that game, people just say, "Oh yeah, it's
Yes,
Spursy." It's just
whatever.
another, yeah, it's just another Spursy moment, So we're waiting and see if that curse will break. That they will break that curse. Coming out they did what in 2008 when they won the time was Carling Cup, but I want to get into this segment, Daniel, and talk about the Demarai Gray effect. I said it that I was trying to get some information, and I have a virgin that on Twitter, met him online. He cover the SPL, the Saudi Pro League, and I always ask him like, hey, if you know anything about reggae boy players or any other information, you can check in. And he's such a kind person. You always don't know him from anywhere, but met him online, but managed to swing across some information on the Demarai Gray, and I must say this: what he have said, he have actually came back with a lot more information than what I asked for, but
Mm.
he said this is the best moment right now for Demarai Gray in the Saudi Pro League. He said that the new coach actually like him. Interim coach. Since he took over from Steve Gerrard, what I think 14 games you have managing. They just lost a game just recently in this weekend, and they said that Demarai Gray, his attitude is training well. The coach like him. The coach like what he's seeing, and it's sooner or later that his farm will change. Yet to record any assist or goal, on the score sheet, for Al Ettifaq, but it's all positive, around his club at the moment. This new coach brought some different energy, younger coach. Not saying probably younger coach in the coaching world, compared to what Gerard have done in his previous time, but
Yeah.
that seems like good news, for Demarai Gray about he's not yet to get on the score sheet, not even an assist, but he's playing well, he's training well, his attitude is good. The coach like him as well. He have said that the coach think he's a very good player. He can contribute a lot to the football club, and for someone that yet to get off the mark, goal contribution for his club, still managed to play consistent football. That say to you, going forward, the Margaret, even though it's poor form in terms of in front of goal, still on the run. I think it's around 14, 15 games, something like that. Since his record his last goal in that US game.
Yeah, I just think he just need to get some luck, have some luck, have a coach that come in and able to want to give him some game.
Yeah,
I think Demarai is gonna be a very important player for us. He have quality when he's on his game. He's one of our best player. You see that when he came in that first time when he started for playing for Jamaica. So we need Demarai to be playing a lot of football consistently.
yeah,
I think he's out of all our wingers. I think he's one of the most creative player that we have. I think Bailey. I don't think Bailey is much as creative to me as Demarai Gray. I think Bailey is a one-on-one winger we can take on place, but I think Demarai have more than just taking on players. He can score and he can link up play. So
yeah,
I really need him. I really need some luck to start go his way, staying fit, playing consistently, and just get back on farm. I'm not really a person who follow the Saudi league that too much to know what's going on. But I just feel like since I've been went through those patch where he's not playing, he's getting an injury, and then when he come to Jamaica, you
yeah,
can see that kind of affect his farm compared to the first time when he came in. But going into the summer,
hmm,
hopeful that he can get back fit, and I think he kind of put on a little weight too. I think he needs to get back a little slimmer. I follow him on social media, and it looked like he's working off the field very good. You get me? So hopefully some luck can just start going his way because
yeah,
last year injuries,
Dreadful.
poor
Yeah,
form.
missing from squad. Yeah, not in match day squad. Gerard not trust him not much, but I must say that he have featured in all of the games since the last international break. That's really good news for him as well. But
So
people, this is some stats surrounding Demarai Gray, since he scored those 2 goals versus US, in Missouri, in St. Louis. So since the US game, right after, his successful dribble innings currently at this moment, in the Saudi Pro League is 53, but in those games since the US, since he have played 60%. So if you look at what he have been doing since he scored those last 2 games in the Saudi Pro League, he's getting better. He have created 25 chances overall in the Saudi Pro League. But if you look at the last sets of games that he played since the US game again, it's 21. So from November international break, go beyond October, September, August, he just created 4 moments, for his teammates. So for a player, to go back to not scoring, not contributing, not doing anything on the football pitch, can't even stay on the football pitch without I forget injury. It's a very good comeback and he's doing excellent. So the next thing is for him is to score some goal. And I think it will come. It will definitely come because I watch I watched the last game that they played before he went to play that Saint Vincent game, and I actually watched the last game that they played over the weekend that actually broadcast, and I managed to get my eyes on that, and he looked a little bit sharper. I always try to watch the highlights of him as well, and he look a little bit sharper, but I just want to say that as a winger playing an attacking third, your main objective is to contribute for your teammate, score some goals. But he's doing everything, and it's just time will come that he will actually just flip the script that he will get and end up something. Hopefully he can get like a goal or an assist. I'm rooting for him. He's just like the situation, Daniel, that Mason Mount, going through with United. He's eating properly. Mason Mount have 2 different chefs, that is cooking for him, at Carrington and at his home. His work, he's going to bed, extra early. His body's getting that fully recover, when his body really needs it. So it's the same process as Mount is going through that. Sometimes the injury just hit you. And hopefully it's a run now for Mason Mount, but hopefully now, it will be a very good run, going forward for Demarai Gray. But one of the thing that Daniel, the coach, I've said it. He managed 14 games. He have started 10 games in this new era of this coach. I think his name is Saadi El Shahari. He's a U23 coach of the Saudi the Saudi Arabia national team. He's interim. They're still looking to see if they will hire him, on a permanent base. They want to hire him, but they're waiting until the end of the campaign. But one of the next thing that I want you to touch on, Daniel, Demarai Gray contract will up in 2027. He's gone a couple of years now in his contract. They want to get another deal, extend that deal going forward, after he come back after international football in the summer, start the new season, the coach actually, but they waiting to see who will be the next coach. Is it going to be this coach same or it will be a different coach? But a new deal on the line, for Demarai Gray, is that possible that would be the best option, going forward when his contract will expire in 2027? Because they actually talks that they want to give him a new deal. Hopefully he will accept it according
Yeah.
to them. But moving forward, you think that would be that good deal for him moving forward to extend his contract in the Saudi Pro League?
Um, at this time, right now, speaking, I don't think Demarai Gray have a chance, a choice, because looking at the seeds that he did not have a prolific season. I think, would I want Demarai Gray to come back to Europe? Yes, I think quality wise that help him. You get what I'm saying? But would you rather Demarai Gray stay in the Saudi Pro League and come play Championship football?
Championship football.
I think I would.
Birmingham City is back in the championship. What you think about that summer move?
I think I would love him to come back to Europe, but who's gonna pay the bucks? Because
I'm
if
going to
he's
talk about that as well.
because
So
if he's
I'm going to talk about his return possible back to the European football, because that's another thing that I got information that is on the table. So you can continue to share your sentiment with
yeah,
the contract. Then
yeah,
we'll
I
move on to
think
the European move.
I think I would love to see him come back to the Pro League, because I think that is no matter what, if you're in the Premier League, the Championship in Europe, that's
Yeah,
where it's gonna help you be better as a player. But at this moment, he's 28. He's 28 years old. After the season what he have, he don't have a choice. If they want to give him a contract, he's probably most likely gonna accept that. You get what I'm saying? But my preference, I would have loved him to come back to Europe.
yeah,
I think since he went over, I mean, it's not a coincidence that he went to Saudi and he kind of fall off a little bit,
yeah.
quality wise. It's not a coincidence.
It's very difficult at times. Some players in their career, Daniel. Some maybe it's Demarai Gray. They need to be around that environment that will push them. Those leaders in that dressing room, they just give them that extra edge to push them. They need a competitive, training arena where, players on the training pitch will pushing them, push them, and, when it's match, a coach that will push them. And maybe it was the Gerrard era that was just so messed up, because this football club was down in a relegation when Gerrard got sacked. And for this U23 coach for Saudi Arabia, to manage to just flip the script, change the whole atmosphere around this football club again, and for them, to write up there, back in what mid-table, very safe. That maybe if they would have gone on to win probably 3 games or 4 games in some mistake games that they lost in the past to get those 12 points, they would have been right up there challenging for the AFC spot. So that's how close they are to one of those teams. So
Yeah.
my next question is the social the social deal for Besiktas. He have said the rumors and the talks about Solskjaer want an English winger. It's still in the pipeline. That's Besiktas. So we saw what Solskjaer is doing a remarkable job out there in Turkey as well. We saw they what beat Jose Mourinho team that day, Fenerbahce. They're fighting for European position, but Solskjaer need a few English pieces in his team. Someone that he can trust, someone that have a bit of quality that can add to this football club. It's
Yeah.
still there. Maybe because it's just not him. There's a few targets as well that football club is looking at, and he's one of them from the last transfer window. We saw rumors came out that he told the Al-Ettifaq board that he wanted to leave the football club. Maybe he was just frustrated, with the Stevie Gerrard regime and how the football club was broken. The dressing room was split together. I think what I've heard, Gerrard messed up that changing room in the last 6 months before, they remove him from his post. Maybe it was that, so maybe go on to have a good World Cup, qualify a Gold Cup, and then have a good, off-season vacation, go out and, just rest your mind, refresh back the muscles, come back and have a very good start Pro League, and see what there would happen from there. But Turkey, is that a good move? You think? Because as you said, his age is right there. I think he might have one more good move left back in him. So it's all about him to make that right decision and where he want to go, because he will always be looking to go back in England. That's always a move he will always be explored.
If it's one of those top team in Turkey, Besiktas, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, no. And if it's not none of those teams, no. I think he should stay where he had. I think no. I think financially it doesn't make any sense, because I don't think Turkey team is gonna play. You don't never really see English players stay in Turkey.
Yeah.
Zaha went there, never really like it, leave.
Have financial issues at the club.
You get what I'm saying? So I just don't want him to go there. I rather him stay in Saudi Pro League. At least he's playing. At least he's getting a good check there. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I just don't like. You will see what CFAS have to go through over there. You get what I'm saying? So I think this the Turkish league is one of those very difficult, culture to deal with over there. The presidents and the
Yeah.
owners over there are very feisty.
Vicious. Yeah, man.
You know,
Flamboyant.
so I just don't want I just don't want him to be in one of those situations.
And Social might be there probably for the next 12 months. Then you get
Yeah,
fire.
yeah, exactly. And then you start all over again. A new coach, new system. You might be out. You get what I'm saying? So, I think if it's not England, stay where you at. If it's not England,
To be honest, I would love to see Demi back in the Premier League, but I just can't see that club right now that gamble upon him right now. You
yeah,
know,
20
to give
years.
him that contract, because maybe if it was a player that have done great things in the past, like things they say like, wow, you have look at his stats, this one say, BM said, his end product is not there, and this is what one of his most that really let him down in his throughout his career, his end product. He done the first, the second step to beat a player, then the third step to finish is like him just fall over upon him own legs. You understand? So I just think I would love to see him in the championship, in his next move. I think that would be a test for him. Yeah, and then you can go into the championship. You never know. You can be back in the Premier League at age 31, 32 if you go on to have a very, very good 2 season in the championship, or your club can get promoted. So I just think a championship move will be there, but again, contract, the financial, you might have to take a pay cut. Or if you're gonna look at one of those teams that just are gonna left the championship, teams like Leeds, teams like Ipswich that's going down, Southampton, the teams that have a lot of money. You understand who will be paying that big salary, to him. But and again, it's team that he grew up with, Birmingham, they are back in the championship. So you just never know. Will they take another Demarai Gray back again? We don't know. You understand? But anything that you want to touch on, Demarai Gray, because Demarai Gray is at a League One or MLS level. I think he would struggle in the championship. What do you think?
I,
Struggle.
I think over the past couple of seasons, injury
League One.
wise,
Whoa.
I think injury. No,
League
I
One.
think I
Oh,
think that's very disrespectful. No, I think them are at least championship level. You get what I'm saying? I know he been struggling over the past couple months, but I still think he can do a job in the championship. You know,
yeah.
I,
But
I, I, I don't. League One is too low. It's very low.
yeah, I wouldn't want. I don't think he's probably when he reach 37, 36. Depends on how the next 5 years in his career go on. But the Gold Cup is coming up. We saw what he did, Daniel. In the past. When he featured in the 2023 Gold Cup, it was the star of the show. He was the star of the show in the Nations League as well. You know, this few couple of months that's coming up, for Demi, it's going to be crucial, for him to, try to regain back some momentum. And I'm just saying, continue doing what I'm doing, train well, he's doing everything right on the training ground, in his attitude towards the game is right. I guess it's all about the new circle that he's in, new coach, coaching staffs as well. You understand? A bit of fresh air in the dressing room kind of give him that extra life, So finish the season strong. Just a couple games left, finish the season strong, and then you don't know, ready for international football, and then you go out on a vacation. But it's all about finish well for him. I'm not really looking at his where he's coming from, Daniel. I'm not really looking at goals. I would love to see him have some goals, of course. You understand? But looking at back where he's coming from with injury, falling out and falling in back with Stevie Gerrard, it's just a rough couple of 15 months for Demarai Gray, from the start of the year in January goes back to when he got injured, in that game against Al Etihad. But moving on, from Demi, Daniel, I want to talk about the topic that you actually, you sent me something about Mason, 9 Paris Saint-Germain player in the team of the season. How can this be a player for Marseille who single-handed, yeah, managed to get this football club back in the Champions League? This is a 4th time qualifying for the Champions League in the last decade. They're missing for the last couple of seasons now. And he's not in the team of the season. That's what you said, right? He's not
Yeah.
in the team of the season. And he's not a nominee for the UNFA award, the biggest French award that he, during or after are close to the end of our regular season in the French Liga. How can this be serious? It's like some unfair treatment towards Mason. And if you look at it,
Yeah.
this is a player that scored 11 goals in the first phase of the season from August until December. And a player go on to score almost double digits again, which he will reach before the end of the season. What 1 game left back before they close out the season. He scored 9 goals in the French Liga in 2025. How? Where this came from? How is he not in the top 5 player? I know Ousmane Dembele will win that award, the UNFA award, the best player in Liga, but you have Desiree Dewey, you have Bradley Barcola, you have Arkif Hakimi, you have Cherky, and you have Vitina. And there's no Mason in that top 5 for the best player in French Liga. That's ridiculous, bro.
Crazy. It's like a blackball him and blackball him. Crazy. Gonna look up the players' stats that's they putting over him, and they don't
All right. So, yeah, continue.
Barcola don't even have, let me see. Barcola have 30, they play 33 games, 14 goals, 10 assists, and then Desiree Ayew. Let me see.
So Desiree Dewey, I think he might have 6 goals, 6 assists in the French League this season.
And he make it to the team of the season. I think the team of the season in the French league. I think it's they're just blackballing Mason at this point. You get me? 19 goals. He's right behind the best player in the league. And as you said, bring the team to Champions League. He was one of the main reasons why. Take away those 19 goals. Take away Mason Greenwood. Marseille is not making it to the Champions League. They are not getting to the Champions League. They're blackballing him. It's crazy. I know Mason gonna have to work double time.
Yeah.
If him score 19 this season, he have to score double. He have to score another 19 again next year. You get what I'm saying? I saw it go. Yeah, and it's gonna reach to a level where they just have to
accept
it. You get what I'm saying? People, we make mistake. It's life. You get what I'm saying? We all make mistake. But my God, they're treating this kid, but it's whatever it is. I just glad that he's holding his head high and just keep doing it. Just keep playing, just keep scoring. Scored a brilliant goal last week.
And again, the commentator, mentioned, the co-host, the co-commentator mentioned that, not the British player anymore, the future of the reggae boy player. We mentioned that as well.
Yeah, and
so I guess it's just time before he came before he come across.
I could care less about what they think. We're gonna support him, as I said, we have to forgive and we have to move on. But my God, man, he's one of the best players in the league, and he not even no. Jesus Christ,
that's crazy. The only award that he's going to win this season, individual award, is what Marseille will be giving out this season. That's
Best
crazy.
player, their best player of the
Hmm.
season.
That's crazy. And let me just let me just put look more, to what Daniel have said with Desiree Dewey and Barcola, stats. So in 2024, between August and December, Barcola was Paris Saint-Germain probably best player when Ousmane Dembele was in and out of that squad because disciplinary issue with him and Louis and Ukraine was going through. Barcola got where is it? Barcola have 10 league goal in 2024 and 3 assists. Yeah, in the French Liga just in 2024 of August and December. Desiree Doué in 2024, 2 goals and 2 assists. 2025 until the present moment, Barcola have 4 goals and 7 assists. Desiree Doué in the French League, I'm just talking, these are French League stats of them. So in 2025, from January until now, Desiree Doué have 4 goals and 4 assists. So he picked up. You understand? He picked up. But Mason Greenwood, his goal contribution of this season in the French Liga, yeah, with his goals and his assists, that's 32% of the contributions towards Marseille's season.
Can you imagine Mason in that PSG team? He would have scored at least 30. Mason Greenwood would have scored at least 30 goals. And then just playing in the Champions League. Remember, I said PSG dominate most of them games now. And Mason getting into. Did you see some of those chances that Barcola and Desiree Ado get against Arsenal in the Champions
Yeah,
League?
yeah,
Can you imagine Mason in those positions with his ruthlessness in front of goal, with his both feet? Come on, people. You don't see what's going on. They're blackballing the kid. We get it, you know.
yeah,
He's going to have to bring Jamaica on him back. At least win a World Cup, something, and make them start respect him again. Because I get it. You make a bad decision, but my
Let
God, man, come
let's
on.
let's talk about that decision that happened in the past with him. I was doing some research, Daniel, and I wasn't even thinking about to look up anything about Mason Greenwood have done in the past with his partner and everything. What I'm buck up on in 2008, yeah, around 2008, 2009. Johnny Evans. We need wait until that pass. I was going outside, man. But in 2008, 2007, 08, Johnny Evans went to Sunderland on loan from United. He played his first season at United, then he went out on loan, and then he came back that season when United go on to win the Champions League when they beat Chelsea in the final. An allegation was made against Johnny Evans at a Manchester United party. The only person they said I think was absent in that party was Cristiano Ronaldo. Johnny Evans was locked up for a few days. Yeah, it's out there. You can go look on it. And it's crazy that everything that happened, they left all, the wives and the girlfriend, none of the United players, brought their girlfriend or wife to that party. But the victim girlfriend, yeah, the victim boyfriend was there. I must say, the victim boyfriend, he was there. And he was the one that made the complaint about a few Manchester United players. But the one that did that, the drifting with that lady was Johnny Evans.
Yeah.
And everything went smooth. Nothing came out of it. The investigation done. And then the boyfriend actually did a try and make a press charge to it. And they just closed the case like that.
Yeah.
So nothing really opened up around him in his time. At the time, I think he played like 3 or 4 games for United the start of that season.
Yeah.
He was still a youngster, coming up through, just made, a couple games for the Irish team, Northern Ireland. And nothing really popped up in that investigation with Johnny Evans.
Social media era, modern era, cancel culture era. People are so quick to want to cancel you without even give you a chance. You know what I'm saying? We live in our era, we live in our time where before you even got caught, people want to show you underneath the cell. You know what I'm saying? So different time, and it's crazy, man. I just think it's just the
The
cancel.
cancel culture.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Anything you do, people just quick for cancel. You know what I'm saying? But
So
aside,
he said that Mason didn't get nominated because his past, not his performance on the pitch. Some people will never forgive him for that one incident. But you have players that who have done a few stuff in their past as well.
yeah,
I don't know, man, but um, Danny Jeda said, black ball is another bad term for black. But we'll take that ball. We'll take that one back, Danny Jed. We'll take that one back. But Ricardo, you're good for half up the national. The background. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait till Mason come. He wouldn't be subjected to a monkey chant or other abusive comments if he misses a penalty like Rashford and Cole subject to. You know anything about this one, Daniel?
about what? Yes, I think Marcus Alonso was I think he was driving, and
So he was drunk?
I think so. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he get away with it. Get off the case, I don't know, but yeah, I think that was something that happened for real, because yeah, rival fans used to say, "Oh, a killer," call him the killer. You know what I mean? But
It's like
yeah,
like how Zuma kick the cat and them, but some fans them want to kill him.
crazy, crazy, crazy.
But people look, we drop an extra 15 minutes in it, but you just want to tell the people, all of the man them out there in the chat, bless up to the parents out there, on the girlfriend and the auntie, whatever it is, it's Mother's Day, you understand? But we have to make a run, it's a very short show, it's Mother's Day, so we have stuff to do, but we decide that we just want to come here and just still show face and still talk about the football. And I just tell Daniel that, look, the information that I got, with Demarai Gray, I just want to come out and share to the public that, look, Demarai Gray, his attitude, is better in training. The coach liking what he's seen from Demarai Gray. He's doing everything what a pro should be doing. He's training well. He's
Yeah.
you want to say, yeah.
No, I was gonna say something about Leon Bailey. He have not featured in the last two games.
Actually, I have anything on your come back.
Leon Bailey have not features in the last two Premier League games. You put that 1 and 2 together. I think people.
Want to think people. I'm going to 5 moments. Want to think about that. Leon, bro, it a bother me. Like, it really a bother me. Me not really want to see Leon left Aston Villa. Me not really want to see him left Aston Villa. What you think? What you think a coach or technical director, somebody who do recruitment, for big clubs out there, Daniel, will think about a Jamaican player that just got into the Premier League, right? He's about to leave. What do you think a bigger heads that do recruitments for their club will look at? Like, we want to touch another Jamaican? Like, I don't know. I think it would just be bad to know that a Jamaican band, is going to leave the Premier League. This is the most watched football league.
I don't think it's up. It's up for Bailey in the Premier League, as all you're saying it. He still can get a move in the Premier League. He's Premier League proven. He did it at the highest level.
So Bailey, brother, you attack.
he just have not. They just don't have no. He just don't have consistency. I could see him at a team that came up in the Premier League next season, but I don't think it's up for him in the Premier League.
All right. Rashford is on a loan. Asensio is on a loan, right? Malan is a permanent one. What if Villa don't make the Champions League this season? Will that be a life changer or that be a life saver for Leon Bailey? Because if they go to the Champions League, manage to make it into the top 5 by the end of the season in the next 2 rounds, they will have extra cash. What they've done, what they reach, what the quarterfinals, they reach the quarterfinals, right? Of the Champions League. They reach
Yeah.
at quarterfinal round. So Villa get some cash, them get cash from revenue, TV revenue, sponsorship, just by being in the
The
the Premier
champion.
League and the Champions League this season. Inter Milan already make almost 200 million in the Champions League alone this season. They would never make that much amount of money. The 3 bottom teams them that are got out in the Premier League this season, their TV revenue is higher than the top 3 teams in the Italian Serie A this season. They make more money from TV rights from the top 3 teams in the Italian Serie A this season. The 3 teams and that's going down. That is crazy. The amount of money that the English clubs get over TV rights, plus Villa being in the Champions League, go to the quarterfinal. So that would be extra cash. But for me, if they go to the Champions League, they will have probably a higher percentage of sell Bailey and cash in on him and to spend that money somewhere else. And I read something that where they want to get a winger, someone that can play on either side that will bring impact to the game.
Yeah.
But if they go to the Europa League or the conference, then I see them probably keep Leon Bailey.
I don't see them keep him. The Europa conference, I don't see them keep him. I think they will, and I think Bailey too might be looking to move. Do you ever thought about that?
Where?
I think somewhere in the, I think he could do some mid-table Brentford. Some one of those teams.
Brentford. Bailey can run. Bailey
no, I'm not saying Brentford. I'm just putting it out there. I think he might be looking to move because I don't think, and him and his family, they get so comfortable in England. Why would they want to move? You get what I'm saying?
Well, him live in a Aston Villa, or Birmingham. Birmingham qualify for championship. Him can go down there. That's the same city. That's the same city. That's the same city, but Daniel, I really want to see Bailey just probably give up. Give one more shot, Bailey, one more shot. Yeah, you want to see the reggae boy players in the Premier League. You want to see, and over the years, it's just declining, like rapidly declining. Look at MLS. How much Jamaican players in MLS? It's rapid declining, going down. So I mean, boy, the man am a push short, brother. Man am a push short, but people, BM said, look, Bailey is on his way out at Villa. It's clear that the club is going in a different direction. Look, we'll see what's going on, and hopefully it's not that, but hopefully Bailey can change Unai Emery and the big man that make the recruitments, with the who work with the owner and work and give information to Unai Emery. Don't know if it's a technical director or whatever it is, yeah. But hopefully Bailey can have a good summer at the Reggae Boys and put on a show, man. Bailey is just not consistent. That's always his problem throughout his career going back to Genk. I think going back to Genk, I think that was the most consistent season that Leon Bailey ever have throughout his career. Like, I know he didn't really score much goals in the Belgian Pro League, but look on that Europa League, that the run that he made. He scored some very good goal in that tournament. He was playing some really good football. And I think that was the Bailey where you could probably say a similar player like Bailey, you would have said, hey, Neymar's a player that have loads of tricks. Where is that Leon Bailey gone, Daniel? What, the $6 million a year you make Aston Villa just full up a belly, so?
They're too comfortable, get really, really comfortable. on a big contract, and you have to be honest, you got older, the older you get, if you push yourself, injuries, you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I think he's just getting old, and maybe we need to start accepting the fact that he's just declining. You get what I'm saying? Like, do you think one thing that Bailey has improved him game? No, he played the same way. You get what I'm saying? And it's not gonna cut it at the elite level.
You remember the goal that Trent Alexander-Arnold scored on Leicester City?
Yeah.
And he took his shirt off. You see his body?
Yeah.
How is different from when he did win that Champions League, the first Champions League, compared to the Trent that now, though his body transformed.
Yeah.
I've never seen that with Leon Bailey, that the transformation of his body from Genk days, Leverkusen until the Villa days. I don't see it.
What is he doing off the field?
Well, the last time I see Bailey have some family dinner for Christmas in Post, oxtail, curry goat. Boss, me tell you already, when the man got and I play the game in the Nations League, oxtail, the man might eat before the match,
Crazy.
Oxtail, the man might buy before the match, brother. Match day and the man might buy oxtail in the morning, brother. And the match I play at night,
Only Jamaica.
Eh?
Only. I bet you can never do that going to Aston Villa facility. Never.
Brother, you see, oxtail, the man might buy. Few of them, the man might buy oxtail, brother. I want to tell you, say, me and Ryan did and we are talking to each other and I mean I say, yo, look that. I point out something and show him and said, Daniel, hear this. I mean I say, yo, Ryan, look here. Look what the man them have on the table around this so what we eat after the man them return back from the match, them play at BMO Field, return back to the hotel and me I say, Ryan, look there. You realize, Daniel, none of the man them where you say a local man them, we have greens, vegetable, them have some mix up juice.
Yeah.
And the Englishman them alone go over there go eat them fruits and them greens and them vegetable and call it a night and gone upstairs. Every other else man them walk past that. Them not depend that. You hear me? I tell you, brother. The man don't depend that, brother. Like the good food them when the man ever eat after a game, like the fruits and the greens and the man have water. The man have like some little shake thing around that thing. I mean, I say, Ryan, look there. Man, them nah touch a food in, brother. None of the man them when you know, like, nah touch a food in. You see, after the first 15 minutes blow off, you start to the youth them were born overseas, the heritage players them start disappear one by one. Every man can rest. Remember when a local youth come over to Bobby and beg Bobby, Bobby take a photo. And Bobby say, yeah man, no problem. And Bailey and DJ did a talk for a good 10 minutes. I remember when Bobby come on and start talk and the 5-minute Bobby, say, yo, I go upstairs, because I have a flight I catch early morning. The man might take time and disappear while our local Jamaican player them where come from yard. Man, bag of excitement and I ends out and I remember even when DJ they play for Stokes at the time and DJ Bailey say, yo, what movements we go upstairs. As much as Daniel Johnson born at Jamaica, man, people sometimes still call him heritage player, but that time I was looking at and this is like the professionalism. It's there, but it's not with everybody.
No.
You see the man them were playing at England, them have to do that day-to-day professionalism, brother.
Yeah,
you understand?
Regardless of in the national anyway, it stick with you. You know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, man.
I mean, I know that, but and again, Mugawa game. One time I think we play Ecuador in our friendly game. in a Harrison, New Jersey at Red Bull Arena. I think we lose again a 3-1. And we got a team hotel after. And the same exact story, Daniel. Like, it's just the same, bro. It's just the same. And another game was a Gold Cup game. I'm a buck up on a fan. I think this Gold Cup one was in 2001. I think 28. The last Gold Cup when we play and the 2021, right after the COVID. And I was like, really? Like, the professionalism is just not there with every player, Daniel. It's just not there with every player. So you see, when sometimes when we see some fans get hungry on the podcast, and Daniel, like, I'm not side with the player, I'm in a side with the fans them, because the fans them have a right to talk and they need to get beaten, brother. Big man thing. They need to get beaten. Like, enough of the players them will come represent us, Daniel. Like, the professionalism around the football team, national team, is when you see them like outside, like a team hotel or before a game, it's just not there with everybody, brother. But you can see it with the players them that who reside in England.
Yeah.
It's like them live with that, brother. It's a day to day. You understand? Like, we just remember when DJ look on the man and tell him and say, yo, dog, we have a big game I come up Saturday, and we need to catch my flight early in the morning so we can get back early, get back in England and reach where they need for reach and start training. Cause I'm a big man. I look on the man and I say, yo, like, you just win, you just broke the record, long-standing record at BMO Field, and the excitement is there. But after that finish, the man them start think about what next again. You understand what I say, brother? And it's not there with everybody.
No. That's why you have elite, you have good, and you have decent, and you have average.
But them man, people are saying them a championship ball about and League One. But guess what, people? Them man, they have a professionalism that it walk with them anywhere them go in them career.
Yeah. And it should.
Daniel, may I watch League One playoff during the same time when the Inter match I play. The Napoli match I play. Just the same time when Napoli I play. May I watch Wickham and Charlton Athletic. Garrett McCleary play for Wickham. He's one of the best players. And the commentator saying that Garrett McCleary have put in the most kilometer. Yeah? Throughout the game for his club, for his team in that semifinal. And he's 37. And he's like, for having such a long season in the championship and still manage to put in an afterburner for his club team and just non-stop running. I'm like, whoa. You understand? Like, people can just look at it like, the youth them are playing a League One, but there's something about the players them playing at that level where you just have to give it to them. Like, I know it might not be one of the most, boss league, not one of the most league that we're going to, you're going to have television broadcast to watch, especially if you live in Jamaica. It's just difficult to watch certain games in Jamaica. But if you just look at it and something else, listen to what the commentators say, sometimes like the professionalism is there with the players. You just have to give them that. But the commentator just waxing lyric about Garrett McCleary playing that game against Charlton Athletic, about how much he's done, he's non-stop running. Constantly. He's there with the club when they're in the championship, got relegated, he's still with the club, and I have to give it to the man them, brother. Like, the man them a play at a level and the man them a walk with a professionalism behind him where it's just different from the regular players when we have that born and grow in a Jamaica.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the players them that born in Jamaica playing for the national team, they are not at a professional level. They walk with a certain level of professionalism with them. But when they come to the national team, where is that? Just like what you said, that Bailey played a game, a Champions League game in Amsterdam against Ajax. Bailey used to play in a Belgium they share the same border. It's just a step across the border, Daniel. And
Yeah.
we listen to the story and how he squeegee out a hotel, gonna party the Dallas Sunday, or gonna him yard, gonna sleep. Kind of sleep comfortable. You think him could have done that? Say, yo, in the, like Aston Villa, hotel, he might go find wherever I'm used to live in Belgium.
No, you know, these players, they get away with a lot when they come to the JFF. But sometimes you have to blame the JFF too, cause they're not strict.
Yeah.
You know, enough of these players are their friends. You get what I'm saying? So you have to blame the JFF as well. You know, if the JFF put in rules and when they come, they have to stick to it. And if not, they have to go. You know what I'm saying? But it's not just down to the players, it down to the person that was putting the rules in play. And I think it's come down to the JFF and the coach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Sad, man. But Danny Jed, I say, we get all the matches on our phone. But yeah, but Danny Jed, it's with me and Daniel at one point. I think at what age we start watching, listen to. I remember one point, our youth days, we never have cable for around 2 seasons or a season half in the Premier League. And we have to listen to the game on BBC 5 Live. I think it was KLS did a broadcast the 5 Live, right?
Yeah.
What age were we at that time?
Probably saying going junior high, on junior high school.
Junior high school.
Yeah, I would say junior high. Because I remember I have cable when I was in high school. I would say junior high.
But that you see that particular year when we couldn't watch any Premier League, it was like during our era where they live, like it did just completely, the service wasn't there. It was just completely out. We're having issue with the time. I think Flo was just coming in. I think during that time, Setanta Sports used to be on the Omni. Remember Setanta Sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to watch the Premier League on Setanta Sport, the Omni cable. But I understand, Danny Jed, when me say that, me not really rubbish the JA people, but I'm just saying certain leagues that if you live overseas, like especially like here in the US, like you get the privilege to watch like almost every league, the top league in Europe on your TV. You have that opportunity to watch it on your TV, like on common cable or common, but not everybody like watch football on their phone. Me, I don't care. I remember one time and Daniel, we used to have a radio where every 9 o'clock Jamaica time, the 3 o'clock kickoff in England, we are listening to the radio. That's how much we used to listen to the Premier League. And not just the Premier League, we are listening to even Championship, we are listening to League One, we are listening to League Two, everything until it lock off. And then we'll find something, go catch up. Remember when that done, we used to walk, go down Maxwell Avenue, go down a Rostone, go down our bridging, who have cable at the time have Gold TV, or go down to go start watch La Liga by 1-2 o'clock. We start watch every La Liga match, go back till 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and then we'll come up back Maxwell again, and then we'll go start play some football. Or if it's a Sunday, we'll come up, we'll go bed and we'll walk over Anthony Sparring Sports Complex, go watch football. So I don't know if you have you at that age, again, where I say around 12, 14, I get up and I listen match by radio. I don't think you have them youth there again. But I mean, everything broadcast, but and everybody even have the app, and everybody have a website. If you ask me what is a website right now for watch football pan, I don't even know which website. But when I used to live in Jamaica, I used to know those websites that, hey, these are the app, these are the website that you have to watch match pan, because guess what? And everything privilege that comes and the cable. And cable already in Jamaica expensive. Just like even here. Like it's expensive, but Jamaica is a different story. See, Daniel said, yes, I was a 5 Live fan up to 2008. So, it's something that was prominent that we used to do, man. But again, people, bless up, we have to run. We're doing overtime. You understand? My doorkeeper and I work on a pull, so they don't know that. But people, bless up on yourself. Thanks for watching, man. This is the Nick and Dan podcast. Yeah, me and Daniel. See you guys next week with a full show again. Club league is coming to an end. Can't wait. So probably by next week. Probably by next week, we can talk about some Unity Cup squad that will be named because Dan. Hold on there, Daniel. Let me I have to take 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes until the 130-minute mark. Jordan Ayew, I think, confirmed to be amongst the Black Stars, the Ghana national team for the Unity Cup going forward. We're going to do another video about Unity Cup, but that will be on the morning insider show. So check out that tomorrow morning. But Jordan Ayew, Daniel, confirmed that he done an interview with the website or the organizers about he can't wait. It will be a very, very good show. It will be a very good game coming up. The Jollof Derby versus Nigeria. So
Yeah.
basically, he's talking his way that he will be amongst the Ghanaian team. But people, the Ghanaian national team, they already named 7 local players that will be in that squad. 7 local players. Yeah, they already named 7 local players that will be in the squad, Daniel. But what you think, man? Jordan Ayew, confirm, aside, with local newspaper that produce it, coming from out of Ghana, that he did an interview with the organizer body that that is doing the Unity Cup, but 7 local players and they expect more to be named. So it's like, and it's the same thing with Nigeria, but I said I will talk about that Nigeria one as well, for tomorrow video. But what you guys think though? They will name 7 or more local players in that squad. You know,
I think if any idea if what we supposed to do as a nation as well, I think that's the best thing to do. Name the team a lot of give the players back home, the
yeah,
JPL players, the opportunity. You get what I'm saying? But you can see where all these other nations is taking it. They're giving the players that play in their league the opportunity and put them out there so people can see what's going on in their league. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because I just don't see any player that just play club football is gonna able to go and play the Unity Cup. Maybe some players that don't have in the club or want to play some football. But I just think that the best thing is to do is go Steve McLean, I think he should be doing his homework
hmm,
and see who is the best player in the Premier League and give them the opportunity. You get what I'm saying? And let them go and display their talent in England. So
yeah.
those players can get a contract. You get what I'm saying? So I would love to see that.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that the Ghanaian national team coach, actually, spun on as well. He was done some interview with, local radio, what I've read online that, it's all about giving, the local players an opportunity. But he said that a lot of, the players, already gave the unavailable that they will not be there. But the Ghana team expect to be a stronger team than the Nigerian team. The Nigerian superstars, they are yet to give their 100% commitment, which by now they will not be there. But the Ghanaian players, they will have a little bit more overseas players, I think, more than the Nigerian players, are what I read online coming from both coaches. And the Ghana coach is spending a lot of time in their local league looking at talent since January until now. You understand? Remember, I keep telling that, there's this player, got young player that sees last time around 2023, 2024 season in the Ghanaian Premier League. Got young player of the season, Derek Forju, have the opportunity to talk to him even, just before I came on here. And I said, I saw some news that they naming out some local players. And how is that the best young player of last season, a young player that play in the CAF Champions League as well, not manage to break in, this Ghanaian local team, that local players that will get featured in the Ghanaian national team for the Super Cup and for the Unity Cup. And he's saying that, look, the club that he played for in Ghana, it's kind of not one of those, you know, big club where they backed by a lot of prominent big businessman that run the football in Ghana. And he said it's all politics, but again, just expect to some local players to feature from both African team. Not managed to see not much and Trinidad and Tobago. I've seen something on the I seen something on the Trinidad and Tobago YouTube channel. I think Dwight Yak was talking about the Unity Cup as well, but he wasn't giving away much information. But people, that's it. At Dan MG, determined that what is it? I don't understand that, RR, but yeah, big up on yourself, people. We touching out, we touching out. Understand? We out.